Hey guys, this is your mailman here, delivering you some Madden NFL 08 franchise mode, off-season edition, heading into season 2 of our Oakland Raiders franchise mode. Before we jump into it, just a little breakdown of what I expect from season 2, for season 2. I guess moving forward, we're going to break up these videos into smaller bits, maybe upload videos with highlights instead of the full game footage like I had done for season 1, add some commentary there, and maybe go a little bit more in detail with the roster and stats week by week. We'll kind of just see how it goes. Just doing it for fun. Yeah, so with that, let's jump right into it. Okay, first things first, so let's make sure we have an effective coaching staff. Looks like we're in need of a defensive coordinator. We'll go through our options there, but first take a look at who we have on the roster right now, the coaching roster. Lane Kiffin is our head coach. We're going to keep him. He's on the rise. His stats increased after an 8-8 season. Pretty good for him, considering this was a 2-14 team. So again, we do need defensive coordinator. We're going to get the best of the business here. Ron Rivera, good motivator, high knowledge of defense, obviously. And you know what? We're not going to spare any expense. We're not going to be outbidded. He's going to be our guy. We're going to make it happen. As long as it takes. There we go. All right, so that'll do it for our coaching staff. That was the only vacancy. Training, good. Take a look at pricing. You know, I think we're going to wait until the regular season before we worry about prices. All this is subject to change depending on our fan support. But, you know, something I'll look into is maybe relocating. That seems to be a popular feature of franchise mode. I think I've done it once or twice in my time playing. So we'll see. Maybe we go to Vegas. Maybe we go back to LA. Yeah, we'll see. Not too worried about it yet. Moving on to our retirements, we got Brett Favre, probably the most famous retiree this year. Trent Green and Kurt Warner are also gone. Brett Favre, these older Madden games in the mid-2000s always have him retiring after one season in franchise mode, which is kind of ironic because it took him 3 or 4 tries before he finally settled on retirement. I do kind of wish, that's kind of one of the things that I gripe about, is that player careers sometimes don't go as long as I'd like them to on franchise, but that's minor compared to, I guess, today's Maddens, but that's for another video. Zach Crockett, our fullback, and Dwayne Starks are retiring. No big deal. We'll find replacements for those guys. And we're entering our re-sign period. Josh McCown, he didn't play any snaps last year. We're going to let him walk. Justin Fargas, I don't think he played. We're going to let him walk. Travis Taylor, I think I'm going to find some new receivers in the draft or free agency to kind of, because we need a solid number 1. So we're going to let him go. Jake Grove, we'll see. Yeah, let's keep him on as a backup. Using the draft, I plan to get some much needed improvement on the offensive line. We have a pretty rough run game that we got to improve. So we'll keep him on as a backup, maybe. Older guys too that have been in the league 8, 9, 10 years, I think we'll decide to let walk. But this right here is probably my biggest decision of the offseason. It's whether to release the former number 2 overall pick in the 04 draft, Robert Gallery. As you can see, he's about to collect $8 million. And for a 77 overall right tackle, who's debatably a bust, I don't think that's worth it. So instead of just releasing him outright, I figured let's get something in return. And I did go through what other teams were offering, and it was the Bills who were picking up or offering the number 2 pick of the 4th round. That was the best offer we could get. So I went ahead and accepted that trade. It got us an extra pick. We'll have to eat some of the dead money next offseason, but I do think it's worth it. We're going to re-sign Tom Kelly here. Good 3 years. He's still pretty young. And he had like 6 or 8 sacks last season. I was pretty content with that. You're going to walk. You're going to walk. We are going to sign Sam Williams. Again, this is another position outside linebacker that I'd like to address in the draft. But for now, he is our starter. He was the starter last season. We're going to keep him on with a 2-year deal. Good on middle linebacker. And we're going to get a long-term deal for Namadi Asamoah. He is a franchise guy. He's a defense, or he's a guy that you build a defense around, plain and simple. So we're not just going to give him a 3-year deal. We're going to get him to retire here. 5 years should do it. It's more cap friendly. Let's get it done. He's going to be a Raider. He ain't going anywhere. Stuart Schweigert, he's a pretty solid contributor. We're going to get him on for another 2 years. All right. The rest we are going to release. Again, we're going to be utilizing free agency. And I thought that the biggest need in free agency for us this year is the offensive line position, specifically our left tackle. We need a big guy that's going to protect whoever is at quarterback. Right now it's Jamarcus Russell, but we need a 90-plus overall guy in there. So he's going to be the anchor of our offensive line, McKinney. Let's see what else we can get here. Defensive tackle, pretty good. I mean, Warren Sapp is aging, but he's still got some football left in him. I think we have higher needs. And as far as keeping things realistic, I'm not going to go and sign every 90-plus guy at every position. I want to keep it as realistic as possible. So I kind of have this rule of mine that where I avoid signing more than one free agent that's over 90 overall. Just to kind of keep it fair. I know these other CPU teams don't abide by that rule, but I will. Alan Faneca. These are tempting, I'm not going to lie. But the advantage to playing these games as opposed to simulating seasons is that these guys, if you play pretty decent, they will progress pretty quickly. So I kind of want to build this team through the draft. There are a lot of tempting choices here. Julius Peppers. Michael Strahan. I think he actually retired after this season in real life. Outside linebacker. Yeah, I think we're gonna address this in the draft too. A lot of these players in the mid to lower 80s overall will be available after the draft, so there's not going to be a big rush, no panic expending early on. I think we're in pretty good position. Up next is going to be rookie scouting. There is a cool feature introduced in Madden 07. It's the college all-star game, basically. You get to play with the incoming draft class. I think it's like East versus West or something like that. It's pretty cool. I just decided to skip that for this season. Maybe next. I mean, it doesn't really add much in terms of what you figure out. Like, I don't think you get a scouting report or anything like that. But to get more information on the players, like a quick synopsis or analysis of their abilities and weaknesses. You can do these drills here. This is a wide receiver drill. I guess going into the draft, I'm keeping an open mind. I just want the best available player on the board. And that can really be for any position, probably other than quarterback. I think that the top two positions we're going to focus on in the draft is wide receiver, hence why I'm doing some wide receiver drills. And the second one is offensive line. I know we just signed a big offensive tackle, so I think we're good on the left tackle, but we do need our guard and maybe a new center. I know there's some controversy between drafting for need versus best available player. Hopefully we can exercise a little bit of both. I mean, if that's a wide receiver, great. If not, I do think that the beginning to the foundation of a successful offense is no doubt going to be offensive line. So I did some other drills, but we're gonna get started with the draft. We have the 19th overall pick plus that second pick in the 4th round, thanks to our trade with the Bills involving Robert Gallery. And there is a lot of trading going on these first three. I think the first 3 picks right there were traded away. Pretty exciting draft, at least so far. But again, we picked 19th, so we'll see what happens. See who's available. Best available. Okay. So I know there were some top 10 guys, and I know that there were some wide receivers available. But again, reiterating the need for an offensive lineman, I went with this Terry Connor. I based that on, well, I mean, you can look at the numbers for one, but their interviews are also a pretty good, or I think it's IQ tests, is also a pretty good measure, because I think that actually relates to the awareness rating, which is an underrated attribute in the Madden games. So I know we re-signed our veteran center, but we are gonna draft Terry Connor. He's gonna be hopefully our starting center entering season 2. No regrets there. Moving on to round 2. And this might be some controversy to this pick. But I'm going tight end. Honestly. This guy, he's fast, and I'm not sold on our current tight end. I forget his name already. But he's still our starting tight end from last year was still a 76 overall. I'm hoping he should give us some more talent, some more options on offense in the passing game, because we got a quarterback that's struggling. Speaking of, right there, round 2 we picked up, or round 3 we picked up a backup quarterback. I don't regret that because we had issues with Russell's accuracy last season. That was a major issue. Like receivers that were open, a simple press of the button, he could not make the connection. And it was very frustrating. So I'd like a plan B, a legit plan B. So I don't have any regrets drafting a quarterback in the 3rd round. Okay, Benny Lewis. This is the guy I want to see. I hope it pays off here. Yeah, look, that's solid. 81 overall. That's good for a second round. Here's our quarterback, 80. I'll take that. I'll take that. And to be honest, the picks after the quarterback position were mostly to fill in the blanks. There's a lot of need, I guess, depth wise. So we added a wide receiver. We shored up. We got a couple defensive ends. Again, those are mostly just depth options. So yeah, we picked up some more depth here in free agency. We got the Harrisons coming from the Steelers. They're going to be our backup outside linebackers. That fills all the needs. So we'll head to training camp. And I do participate in the drills. I don't know if you guys consider that cheating. I don't. I like them because they're fun. And heck, we need it. So 4 points to Jamarcus Russell for awareness. Again, awareness is so big, especially for the quarterback position. And the drill that I ran for Jamarcus didn't offer an accuracy because he's got a cannon. That's no doubt. His arm is never a strength or never an issue, never a question. It's his accuracy that honestly pissed me off so much last season. So I also my focus on player progression is on younger players like Michael Bush here. I want to get him some more talent. I want some star players that we can build an offensive around. I'm hoping it's Jamarcus Russell at quarterback. Johnny Lee Higgins, who I did a drill with here, is another guy that I think played excellent in the slot position. So I'm hoping that he can be a big improvement for our offense, add some spark. He is our highest rated wide receiver. Yeah, I'm pretty content. I think we shored up. We boosted on our offensive line. Defense didn't really change all that much. We improved Sammy, the outside linebacker, a little better. So let's look at the schedule. We're going to start the season on the road in Denver. Looks like we're playing the AFC East and the NFC South. So that right there is the regular season schedule. And with that, we will wrap up our off-season video for Season 2 of our Oakland Raiders franchise. Next week, we'll maybe have 2 or 3 games. I'm not sure yet. Either way, Week 1, Denver Broncos at Mile High will be the start of our Season 2 journey. Big questions coming. Is Jamarcus Russell the guy at quarterback? That might be the biggest question. We'll see. Stay tuned. If you like the video, give it a like. Consider subscribing. Have any ideas? Leave a comment. This is your mailman. See you next time.